Welcome to part two of my non-cyclical series of market markups. And with this series of market markups, I'm only going to be focusing on non-cyclical stocks. And if you don't know what that is or what that means, basically there are stocks that are relevant regardless of the market conditions. So think of it this way. Um, Take Walmart, for example. So Walmart, you can go there for groceries, you can go there for clothes, and they're typically, lower priced items. And we need clothes, we need food, um, and when money gets tight, we tend to spend less. So we, shop more at the discount savings type stores. So that's pretty much what non-cyclicals are. So you got your healthcare stocks, you got your consumer staple stocks, utilities, industrials, and things like that. So that's pretty much what the next several market markups are going to focus on for the most part. Because I have some other ones that I'm planning too that are not necessarily centered on these topics. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'm really grateful for your subscribership, your viewership, your support. Much gratitude to you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you're playing defense in these markets. I'd love to hear it and chop it up with you guys in the comments about it. And of course, if you have any questions or any tickers that you'd like for me to check out, leave them in the comment section and I'll happily do a video on those. Um, uh, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the content here. Uh, Let me back up a second. Recently dropped a new class with Abbvie University called Guide Charts and So Shall You. You can check that out at guidechartsandsoshallyou.com, or you can check it out at chartsandpriceaction.com. And the class goes deeper into understanding price action as well as trading psychology. So it makes it very practical. So make sure you check that out. If you have any questions about any of my other offerings, I have links in the description box. And of course, my inbox is open. If you have questions and you'd like to have a discussion, I'm all for that. But let's go ahead and talk about Abbvie. So this is the yearly chart for this one, and I'm just going to get right into drawing a couple of trend lines to show, what the overall trend has been over the life of this stock, as well as a more recent trend over the past few years. So those are two areas that I pay attention to. But so far, this one is performing pretty well. It's not very far off of its all-time high at 175.91. So that's another thing that, when you're looking at these non-cyclical stocks, compare how far or how close they are to their all-time highs in comparison with the rest of the market. So, with big tech and things like that, the things that are, have entered bear markets and stuff like that. So what I'm finding is that a lot of these stocks are barely in correction territory, while big tech is deep into bear market and some other areas as well. So of course, in my usual fashion, I'm gonna mark last year's closing price, and as you can see, it's holding nicely above that so far. And last year's close was 135.4. So I'm going to make sure that I go in and mark that. All right. So of course 2021 close. All right. Okay. So that's pretty much it. With the yearly chart, the price is pretty much just trading in an ascending channel right now. Um, So I just, watch it as it continues in that area. We are seeing some selling pressure on this stock on this yearly chart. So I'd pay attention to how this develops over the course of the year, whether it prints like a reversal pattern, or maybe it pushes back up toward 175. So if I were one that track this company on a regular basis, I'd be watching for things coming down the pipeline that could have a material impact on this company, whether it be something that is specific to this company or something that is a more broader market that tends to have a consequence for, stocks, regardless of, what industry it's in. Something like COVID, you know what I'm saying? But let's take a look at the monthly chart. All right, so monthly chart, you can see is following this more recent trend pretty well. Let me take this study off so I can look at the candles better. All right, so what I'm seeing as well on this monthly chart is, remember I mentioned on the yearly chart an ascending channel. This is likely the upside of that channel, but this trend line is pretty much where those sellers really come in and sell this thing off. So I'll be watching to see if maybe the price comes back and retests 2020's close, maybe, or whether it heads back up over, what is this, April's opening price, which also pretty much lines up with March's closing price. So seeing if the price can get back above that 162 area, and I will draw I'll do a price level. So I'm just going to call this the monthly pivot. All right, and I'm going to make this blue because that's my color for my monthly time frame. All right, so definitely be paying attention to how things shape up over the course of this month. Looks like earnings was on the, oh, that was April. Earnings in July. So okay, we got a little bit before earnings, but yeah. So I mean, it had a nice little run since October. So from about October, which is, around the time that the broader markets had started to range and big tech had started to lose some of its former glitz and glamour over the past decade plus. Um, this one, it bounced right off of that yearly level, and took off from the low 100s up to the high 100s. So um, it'd be nice for it to kind of cool off a little bit. So it's kind of ranging here on the monthly chart. I'd watch this area between about 145 and 162 ish, but we'll see how things shape up on the weekly chart, and see if we can better confirm that range. And the range could even reach down to 135. But as far as the monthly chart is concerned, it's pretty much ranging between that 145 to 162 area. So far for the month of May, we're seeing that 146 or 45 area is holding, and the price is up, a little bit from there. So is it headed back for that pivot level on the monthly chart? I don't know. We'll see how things shape up, over the course of this month, the rest of this month. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the monthly chart. Let's take a look at the weekly. All right, so had a nice little drop here on the weekly chart from that 175 area all the way down to about 139, 140. And so far over the past, week and a half or so, it's been kind of trying to recover from that dip. We got, for me, um, I must consider the possibility of this being a small bear flag developing. Maybe, maybe not. It's multiple possibilities that could be developing in this situation. Again, like I said, very strong run from about October until uh, beginning of April. So this little pullback is definitely necessary. It was needed in my opinion. So that's a pretty healthy pullback in my opinion. Let me see how far it pulled back. So it pulled back as much as 20% off the high, off the all-time high. So that's a very good pullback in my opinion. Again, so be watching over the course of the next several weeks to see how things shape up in the meantime. I'm going to set an alert pretty much right here. Okay. All right. So got my alert plotted there. If that alert doesn't go off, then it is what it is. Um, I'd probably maybe setting another alert around maybe about 155. I'll say. All right. So maybe a short swing opportunity may develop out of that once it crosses this level and possibly heads to 160 plus. So we'll look out for that. Um, Earnings, they beat earnings estimate, so that's a positive thing. Sell off going into earnings, and now it's kind of looks like it's kind of trying to recover. Um, we could also have like a bull flag situation going on a larger scale, and in that case, I wouldn't it wouldn't necessarily confirm a bull flag until the price is able to get above and hold that 175 area within a reasonable amount of time. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it on the weekly chart. Let me draw my little rectangle here so that I can notate the range. Have my visual. I like to be able to see the things that I deem important or the things that I took notice of. So do my purple trend lines there. Okay. And do my trend line here at the bottom. Okay. All right, there we go. So that's pretty much what we're looking at as far as the weekly chart is concerned. So let's take a look at the daily chart. And like I said, I like to see where the price is trading in relation to um, the popular moving averages, is what I call them, being the 50 and the 200. And we see that the price is currently trading below the 50 and above the 200, but closer to that 50 period moving average. And looks like it closed the gap here at 154 recently. Yeah, hit a high of 154, almost 155 today. Same thing yesterday, hit a high of 154 and a half roughly. So that gap is being closed or filled. So at this point, I'll be looking to see if the bulls can push the price on above this old gap here. And maybe maybe they don't. Maybe the price on the daily chart comes back to retest this trend line on the weekly that I talked about on a previous time frame. And maybe it bounces from there, but we'll see. Either way, I have my alert set on this trend line on the weekly chart. So I'll be watching to see if what happens. And notice that this congestion happens pretty much right in the middle of the range on the weekly chart. So remember that when I mark a range, I almost always notate the midpoint of that range, because that's to me that's a significant level as well. So not as significant as the upper and the lower ranges, but still an important one to keep an eye on. Okay, let's see what the implied volatility is looking like for this one. So I'm going to put my implied volatility study on and talk about that for a second. All right, so want to make that a little bigger. All right, so first off, let's see if its implied volatility is on the high side or the low side. Looks like it's on the higher side right now. So it'd be nice for the bears to bring this implied volatility down a little bit. And look, and they already have. Who knows what the implied volatility? Well, yes, we do know actually. So it looks like the implied volatility, when it hit its all-time high, it was around 35%. So just slightly higher than what it is right now. So it looks like, the price is reaching, or the implied volatility is reaching some sort of historical resistance close to it right now. So I'd mark that level around 34%. And then support is right here around 23%, close to 24%. So those are, the levels that I'd be watching as far as implied volatility is concerned. For me, I don't know that I would necessarily get in a bullish position, just off the strength of doing this study. I don't think it's safe to get into a bullish position with this implied volatility being so close to its historical resistance, because we see that historically once it gets up in this area, it turns down. So maybe it's best to kind of wait it out and see if it pulls back lower if you want to get into any sort of bullish position. So yeah, that's pretty much it with ABBV. Um, Let me know what you guys are watching out for, especially if this is one that you follow on a regular basis. Maybe you have it in your portfolio, whether it be, something that you trade or something that you are invested in. I've never traded this stock. I'm familiar with it, but that's about it. I don't own any of it. So yeah, hopefully you guys get some value from this. Again, please like, share, subscribe. Um, don't forget to head on over to God Charts and So Shall You, and check out my latest course offerings with By the Hood University. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me, or you can send me an email at lance@bhcapitalenterprises.com. If you follow me on any social media, you can DM me there and interact with me there. I tend to be pretty active on social media, Facebook more than anything, but I'm trying to get better about Instagram and Twitter. But either way, if I see a notification, I will certainly respond to it. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.